Go ahead, take us in, Grant.
I'm not recording yet.
We are.
Yeah.
Are we?
Is my right. Welcome to Bones, Twigs and Wigs.
Send, baby.
The podcast about music.
Sometimes.
Welcome to Bones, Twigs and Wigs. This week we are talking about many things as per usual. This is the podcast about music. Sometimes. And this is not one of those times. So congratulations if you love music. You've got the wrong one. But there's plenty more. There's some vinyl impressions and lots of different episodes you guys can watch. Hope you enjoyed the intro music. That was Grant doing some scratching as well. We're going to have a very special guest as well. We'll get to that at some point in the future. Anyway, I won't mention it just in case it doesn't happen, but it should do. But today we're going to talk about some of our favorite comedians and our favorite specials. I'm quite bad at watching specials and I'm pretty bad at remembering jokes, but we all have our own favorites. I think we've got similar senses of humor to a point, but we've all watched our own choices here. I am going to get Grant to start this one this week, and he's going to talk about the the special that he asked us to watch. And
Go for it. Man, yeah, we went for The Machine. We went for The Machine.
Yeah, it's a funny.
We
one
went for
too.
the powerful Bert Kreischer and his latest special, Hey Big Boy.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the shirtless one?
Yeah.
Of
So
The Machine.
I actually, I've actually seen it. I think I remember because it's been out for a while. It's been out maybe like a year or two.
About a year, yeah.
Yeah, and I think when it first hit Netflix, I remember Bert from the infamous, Machine, So I saw it, when it released, and I was like, oh man, let me check this guy out. And I love it because in this one he talks more, about his family, about his daughters. He's got 2 girls. And just kind of talks about like how he's like just a terrible dad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like it's pretty interesting though, man. Like he's just a funny dude. And he kind of mixes it up too. Like he'll talk about like the Starbucks. You remember that?
That is
was
cream.
hilarious, bro. He's like,
Room for cream.
room for cream.
I don't want I don't want it to know his father or whatever. Oh God.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want it to get pulled over by the cops or something like that. And he was like, he means he wants it black. Like, bro, I was dying, son.
And I feel like you've got to be a brave, especially in the current climate of years, a brave white comedian in America to be making those jokes. And
You do.
I love that about comedy when it's correct like that, because he's saying it obviously knowingly. He's not a racist prick. He's saying it knowingly, which is why it works.
Although there is the running joke of Bert Kreischer being the most racist comic in America.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Really?
Have you seen that? Yeah, in the latest episode of his podcast with Tom Segura. It's called 2 Bears, 1 Cave. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've shown you guys a clip from it before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've got a bunch of hashtags about each other. They've had like a kind of Twitter war or whatever going on where they fat shamed each other, which led to a 2-year-long weight loss competition.
Oh man.
And now a yearly sobriety thing that they do. Yeah, they had the fat shaming, and one other thing they had a dance video off. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like official too, like an official like music video. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Why does he do the shirt? Why does he do the shirt off? By the way, that's something that I didn't know.
I don't know. He just does.
He just walks out. He walks in with the shirt and then just takes it off.
And he takes
before
it
he
off.
starts.
I think he.
It's his thing. It's.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think like his first big comedy special, he did it once, and it just became like this thing. And now he's just like, you know what? I'm doing this every single stand up. Like,
yeah, it's his thing, and he has to have his Tito's and soda on the stool, and he's gonna neck it at the end.
Yeah.
But,
but no, like if I had to pick the most racist white comic, bro, it'd have to be what's my man? It's either Bill Burr or Louis C.K.
I knew there were two names you're gonna say.
Man, just ganging up on the redheads, Johnny.
Nah, man, but those are the two white comics that openly say the N-word and don't have a problem with the backlash or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they say it in their shows. Now, granted, if
I've
not,
never heard him say
okay,
that, to be honest.
maybe it's Louis C.K.
I like Bill Burr, and I've never noticed that. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised with Louis C.K. I don't think Bill Burr would.
Bill definitely pushes the boundaries, but
wasn't
he's
Bill
more about
Burr
the voice,
the one?
right?
But wasn't Bill Burr the one that did he did the sit down with Chris Rock?
No, that
Jerry
was Louis
Sein-
C.K.
That was Louis C.K. Okay, so he is probably the racist. The racist.
racist,
Well, he's-
sexist, everything. He's been in trouble.
Yeah, he does not care.
Funny guy though.
Oh, I mean, hilarious, bro. No, like for real, like I can't even
Great
fault the
taste in
guy,
humor.
bro. Very like he's just very blunt, very dry. And to be honest, that's the type of comedy that I like. No holds bar. And that's what a lot of comedians, even the black comedians, they're talking about that now. The Eddie Murphys, the Dave Chappelles, the Chris Tuckers, the Chris Rocks, all of these guys, they always say, man, like especially the Waynes, the like Marlon Wayans, they're always saying like, bro, like the world just needs to relax. Everybody's so sensitive right now. I can't even like joke about certain things without somebody like cracking down on me. You know what I'm saying? And Bill Burr is like, those are black comedians, but like Bill Burr and Louis C.K. and even like Russell Peters, all of these guys that are like kind of pushing the bounds, bro. Like they are always getting backlash, man. But they just blunt, like just bluntly funny.
I think. I mean, we are in a difficult time about everything at the minute, but obviously we were talking before about statues and blah blah, blah. And taking away comedy. I mean, when it comes down to blackface and stuff, yeah, take it away. That's no one. We just don't need that. We've grown out of that. Or we should have done. But it is difficult to censor anything. I don't particularly agree in censorship at all. But there's certain lines, but everyone's lines in a different place. So it's without comedians pushing it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be funny anymore. We'd just be doing the same old thing. Like you have to be controversial, otherwise you wouldn't be a famous comedian. You have to live on that line, literally on that line, and overstep a little bit, and then pull it back, and then overstep. That's the best comedy. The best comedy is when it's risky.
Yeah.
When you are going to offend people, of course you're going to offend people. I mean, but then there's the blatant racist stuff, which is like. But then again, Dave Chappelle a lot of his stuff is fairly brutal the other way around as well, which some people have an issue with.
Yeah.
Well, he's just wise, that man.
Oh god, yeah. Did I mention it to you guys before? Have you seen it yet?
The 846 thing?
Yeah,
is it 846?
I haven't
seen
seen
it
it yet. Yeah,
I just saw it today. I saw it today.
It's only a couple of days old.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. And they put it on Netflix now.
Okay, cool.
Netflix is a joke place, the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a stand-up in the sense of, I mean, like my friend Sean told me about it when it first came out. He's like, oh, it's just dropped, watch it. And he's a white American straight male, very, very, he takes things to heart about this stuff, and he's really fighting the fight and all that sort of stuff, and it's a tough watch.
Yeah,
it's a tough watch.
But it's still kind of funny.
But he still has moments that are really funny, yeah. And he's just being Dave. Like he even says at one point, like, I didn't want to say anything because you don't need like your favorite comedian talking. The streets are talking. They don't need me to speak from the streets are talking, which is great the way he says it. And then he's like, but I know, I'm that guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to lie to you. So that's why you want to hear from me. And, that's why I'm here, type thing. He says it right.
He's going to give you facts.
Did you notice that he couldn't light his cigarette?
I know he kept trying. He was really frustrated. He was trying to light a cigarette through about 20 minutes.
Johnny, see, yeah, like this is the best part about that video, which we've stumbled onto. The best part about that video is that he's, you think, oh, he's gonna be saying some funny shit, and he says all this like serious stuff with, just
like
a nice
couple
little
funny bits,
a nice little pepperage of humor, if you will. But
pretty brutal humor.
Yeah, right. But just like little,
pretty crude and brutal, but yeah.
But you'll notice now that I've said it, you'll notice it for sure. maybe for like the first 20 minutes, he's trying to light his cigarette,
Kill me.
and he keeps trying all these like dramatic pauses, sort of moments, and it's and he can't do it,
light a cigarette.
and then he goes on to the next bit while it's still in his mouth, but he hasn't lit it.
You can see he
Over and
keeps
over
forgetting,
and
then
over
he'll just try and take a drag and go, oh yeah, I've not lit it. And then he'll start trying to light it and remember something else, and he'll start talking, and then he'll put the lighter back in his pocket, then he'll put it in his mouth, he'll go, oh shit. Then he'll pull it out to try and light. I think he walks off stage with it unlit. I'm not sure he lights it at all, does he?
I think he might have gotten it at the towards the end. He got it, but
I think Dave just enjoys at least having a cigarette like in his mouth.
Yeah, it's definitely a prop. You can tell you.
Yeah, I think that's just like his thing. It's probably one of those, like you said, a prop, just something to just kind of like keep his mind going, something to kind of fiddle with, you know.
Well, he definitely uses it as well, because talking about one of the guys who got killed, he was selling loose cigarettes.
Oh,
and he just brings the cigarettes out of his pocket, and then goes, I've forgotten the guy's name. Forgive me, I can't remember his name. And he mentions the guy's name who got killed for selling cigarettes by that cop. And they cut to a video. Actually, they show a video of him being taken down with his chair. It's pretty strong stuff. But yeah, he gets it out and he pulls out the cigarette like he's having a cigarette. And as he pulls them out, he mentions that. So I don't know if it's on purpose in time with that moment, or that reminded him that that's where he wanted to go. Or I don't know.
But he can't light it.
Yeah, then he can't light it.
Yeah. I think it was probably, I haven't even seen it, but it might have been on purpose, but I think it was also just probably like a memory type of thing. Because like if you've seen Dave Chappelle's stand up, like, you know, that's his thing. He's always smoking on stage.
Yeah.
You know, like, even if he doesn't have a cigarette, bro, like he'll bum a cigarette out the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And just a random guy, just give him a cigarette and then light it for him, you know? So like that's his niche. You know,
I like him.
It's good. Now, Bert Kreischer, on the other hand,
yeah, we went off. Well, we talk about comedy in general. We're all good, aren't we?
Right, you just in general.
Yeah.
But
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but no,
it's amazing how quickly we got from Bert Kreischer to Dave Chappelle.
To Dave, yeah.
From the most racist comic in America.
I was going to say, they're on different spectrums, pretty much.
Very, very. But I still can't believe that Bert is the most racist comic, bro. Because like.
Oh, that's right. I was telling us.
I think that's an in joke, though, isn't it? That's
it's just a joke. It's just a joke that they've had for years. Like, he's the most, like, I showed you guys this before. Like, you see like the opening phrase from every one of their podcasts together. Like, it's always Segura, saying, and you completely out of context phrase. It just makes him sound like a horrible person. And Bert just laughs. Like, that's the best thing about Bert Kreischer, that he's got that that infectious laugh.
Yeah. And he talked about that. He talked about that in the stand-up. He was like, "Yeah, man,
I laugh at my own joke. Yeah.
I don't really like you because you laugh at your own joke." And then he told a joke, and the guy started laughing. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't laugh that time, didn't I?" You know?
Yeah.
It's funny, man.
I also just love the amount that he shits on his family.
Bro, when he mentioned the street names thing, that absolutely cracked me up.
The street name.
What game were they playing? I can't remember the game.
It was, I can't remember the name of the game, but it was like,
five street names. Name this out, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like name a state that starts with N.
That's it.
Categories.
Categories, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
there's a name street names. It's like Oxford Street. Da da da.
Yeah. She was like, I don't want to say. And he was like, just say it. He was like, but like, I don't think it's right if I say it. And he was like, now I gotta hear this. Like, what did you put down for street names that start with N? And she's like, I wrote Notorious B.I.G. It's hilarious, yo.
And he calls her a beautiful idiot. It's like, oh, you beautiful idiot. And that's what got me.
You know what's funny? You know, like every special he's had, he has kind of the same formula. He's got stories from when he was working on the Travel Channel.
Yeah.
He's got random stories of his current like day-to-day life. And he's got stories about how much his, like, I don't even know whether he's trying to make it sound like he can't stand his kids, or if he's just like curious about them. Like, he's like, what the?
Does he actually have kids? Because I know some comedians just literally make up a family.
Dude, do yourself a favor. Follow Bert on Instagram. He's hilarious. All he's doing is plugging stuff and trying to be creative about it.
Nice.
But right now, because he's in quarantine, it's just like him around the house, like cooking sandwiches for his daughters and stuff. But what's funny is, if you follow him on Instagram and you're like watching him in his little quarantine day-to-day life thing that he's doing now, you keep thinking these are the people that are special.
Right.
Like that's his wife.
Right.
That's got to be tough. That's going to be a tough gig to be his wife.
No, like in his
imagine
in his
being
earlier,
his daughters. Yeah.
in his earlier specials, he actually like ragged on his wife a lot, like how he met her, you know, like how they first started dating and everything. He was getting on her a lot, and in this
Are
one,
you okay?
Yeah, like, and in this one, man, he was like just all about the kids, bro, like sending them to school. You know, like late, you know.
It's a pronoun game, yeah.
He's like, ask your daughter what she ate for lunch. Ask her. A bag of rice. Like, bro, I was dying, son.
Or like, children should be heard and not touched.
I think with the was it
that kid sounds like she's like the kid that everybody wants to have as their best friend.
Yeah, the youngest one. Oh man, that's daddy's little girl right there. She's real. That is daddy's little girl.
Tried to stop it, Dad.
No, the bit, one of the bits that got to me is getting the gun.
Oh yeah,
damn. He's
like
straight from racism to gun control,
right,
bro?
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing, though. Like,
what a brave soul.
Yeah. He's like he rags
crazy.
He rags about, you know, his own country and just like the policies and the laws that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dig it, man. That's why I said, like, you know, I love comedians that are like that. Like, they can talk about different races. They can talk about their own race. Mm-hmm. They can talk about, you know, different countries. They can talk about their own country. It's like it's pretty equal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like South Park. Yeah.
You know, like everybody's getting it. You know, like we're not just like gonna we're not gonna bring down like this particular group of people. Everybody's getting the smoke.
Nobody is
you
safe.
Feel me? Nobody's safe, bro.
In the best comedy,
know what I'm saying?
Comedy, nobody's
like,
safe.
Your family's not safe. My own family's not safe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I was a comedian, I would talk about my family. You know what I'm saying? I would talk about, you know, the people that are around me daily. So like he's always on that, man. And when he talks about the guns, bro, where he's like he's like, so wow. Funny. He's like, I can't get a gun because, you know, everything's in my wife's name and everything's in my company's name. So I don't really have anything like, you know, like I'm not approved for it. And he's like, the system works.
The way that he talks,
because he's so proud. He's like, I can't get a gun. I feel so much safer that I can't get a gun. And the guy behind the counter's like, oh, you're getting your gun.
You're getting a gun.
It's like, yay, the system works. Oh, screwed.
Bro, and that's how it is, bro. Like I don't know how it is over there with you guys, but over here, bro, like in the US.
Oh, we're good.
We have spoons. We have spoons, man.
Bro,
they don't have any guns, and
they did, and then they gave them back because it wasn't working very well,
and we won't give any out, you know. So it's
but you guys, the more issues you have with guns, you just keep giving out more guns, and we can't understand. None of us can understand. Like another school shooting and gun crime has gone up. Another news, Walmart has made another $1 billion this year on sales of AR-950. So what the? How? Why stop selling the guns?
The primary demographic was 16 to 19 male.
But it's crazy. NRA. It's crazy because you got so many people who follow the NRA. I used to work with a guy that's like super like pro. I guess what is it? Pro gun or pro? What pro bear your own arms, whatever you want to call it.
You know,
he was like he was like, you know, kind of like schooling me on guns and stuff, and he was like, bro, like you buy your first gun, man, it's addicting because like you're gonna want to get like the extended clip, you're gonna want to get like a laser for it. You're gonna want to get this.
I may as well get a rifle.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I gotta have an AR, and if I get the AR, I gotta have a shotgun, I gotta have a pump, you know. But
you should meet my dad. Like, you should ask my dad about guns.
He's got some.
Oh, mate. He's got just all of them.
All of them.
I think that my father may have pushed the gun control laws to their limits. You know, like he's got all the permits for everything, but like the amount of permits that like just so that he has them, he doesn't do anything with them.
Right.
He just has them.
Right.
It's like watches. He doesn't wear watches, but he has like 40.
I mean, And you got some people like that, like they
Yeah,
collect
he just collects them, yeah.
antique guns. You know,
So
what
I
I'm saying?
think I think that dude has a point. They might be.
yeah,
But yeah,
but you got
everyone's
but-
always joking about him. You know.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you guys seen the video. It was like years ago. Somebody wanted to do this social experiment, and they had a 13-year-old kid who had like some money, and he went to like this gun show.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
It was like an expo where like, you know, these like people who own guns or they sell guns, they would just go to this big exhibit and they would just, you know, sell guns to people.
Yeah.
And this 13-year-old kid goes in there with a hidden camera and he's like, yeah, man, I'd like to buy this rifle. And the guy's looking at him like, okay. And, you know, he had him sign the paperwork and, you know, he saw the money. Kid had the money, he checked the money, and the guy was like, all right, man, well, you know, here's a bag and here's the gun and there you go. And gave it to this 13-year-old kid, bro. Like, didn't ask for ID or anything like that. And I'm just like, bro, like, are you serious, cuz? Like, for real, you know? But that's America. You know what I'm saying?
And Bert Kreischer made it funny.
Yeah.
He did.
Nah, like legit. But
And
like,
not in a
that's how
Jim
it
Jeffries
is.
way. You know how Jim Jeffries, like, you know, American distributors, they don't have, like, they can't get
Yeah.
rid of their guns.
Right.
I like guns. Like, you know, he's a
But
great
no.
representative of our beautiful nation of Australia.
Yeah,
Go
nah.
Jim Jeffries, go.
Nah, Bert was
But,
definitely on
Bert's
point
just-
with that.
Bert's do you reckon, I always try to think is if there's like a scenario where Bert Kreischer doesn't come across as like, you know, kind of like the lovable doofus who's like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. Like, I'll learn next time. You know, he's like that guy that you get, like the Homer Simpson of
Nah,
comedy.
he knows.
so to
He's such
speak.
an intelligent guy that's hiding his intellect
Like,
for his
yeah,
comedy.
like-
It's brilliant.
Like he comes up with these like coolly, like very like well premised jokes, but he approaches it like his delivery of everything is just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's an interesting style of comedy, you know.
yeah.
It works
There's
for him.
nobody like him, and he laughs at his own jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So do you.
Yeah.
So
I do
I,
laugh
apparently.
at his jokes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all laugh at Kreischer's jokes. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was my pick. I love that guy, and I love that he necks that vodka at the end. He's always a champ with that.
Yeah, I'd like all the stuff. I
Do you know
actually
what I want to
preferred-
talk about?
Go on.
You know what I want to talk about? I don't want to talk about the Bert Kreischer one. I want to talk about Steve's choice.
I didn't
Because
like it.
I've- Yeah, see, I didn't like it that much. I didn't like it that much either. But I was quite drawn to it for some reason, and I was trying to figure out
It's
why.
100% not his best special, to be honest. And I just reacted when we were talking about it. I went, oh yeah, that one.
But I was trying to figure out why did Steve pick this guy?
His
Why did Steve pick this guy?
Well, number one, the entire comedy special was.
we're talking about
on-
Steve Hofstetter here, by the way, which is a
Right.
Secret Optimist, which is
Yeah.
free on YouTube. He does all his free specials on YouTube.
The entire special was on YouTube for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, cool. And I mean, like, it was good. He is funny. He just rambles a lot, man. And it was kind of hard to like really pay attention. I'm not gonna say rambles, like, you know, he just kind of goes topic to topic, and it's just like these aren't even topics, bro. Like he's just kind of like coming up with this stuff like off the top of the dome. But I do give him props for that. If that is how he does comedy, like if he's just like boom, 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 and this joke reminds me of this joke, and then this joke reminds me of that joke, and he's doing this for like 67 minutes. It's pretty
But did
impressive.
you notice did you notice the perfect bookended callback
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
close it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He
definitely
calls it
planned
back.
out that
Where
one.
did it like he bookended it perfectly. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, so yeah, definitely like by design, I think the
I mean, I think
constant tangential humor and, you know, constantly branching off topics but you're going to bring it back at the end.
it's going to come. I think Steve though,
Right, yeah.
like for me, like I sent you guys a link last night. When I've been bored and I just clicked on YouTube, he is the best. I can't think of anyone better. I mean, there's someone like Jimmy Carr with one-liners and stuff, but Steve Hofstetter against hecklers is just beautiful.
I gotta
And people
see
know him for that,
one.
so they go to his shows. And a lot of shows, like for the special, obviously, he's filmed a lot of them, and he's chosen the one without hecklers so he can do his full.
Right.
But it's way better when you see him and he's in the middle of something, and someone will go blah blah blah, and he just kills
Just
him.
goes off.
Oh man,
That's
and
dope.
he's a Jewish guy from New York. He's got a black sister who's obviously adopted.
Wow.
And
Well,
there's some stuff you can look at online, like people are like, oh, black sister's like, well, I'm Jewish, and people are like going, but your sister isn't. And he's like, what? Because she's black, she can't be Jewish. Like, he goes off on people. He rips them to shreds. I'd love to see him live. And there's some great clips of Australia where the Australians try the best to kill. They got him with a drop bear the first time, and they convinced him that the koalas were going to attack him. They got him with that, and he was so annoyed with himself. So he prepared the next time.
Oh man.
I think I've still got that joke going with about 12 fellow crew members.
Drop
Oh, about the koalas.
drop bears,
the drop bears. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully those exact very specific people don't listen to this podcast because I don't want to ruin my joke.
Yeah, I think Steve, like I say, Steve Hofstetter to me is more about stand up and the way he does that. The special.
Yeah, is he a crowd
isn't
work
my
guy?
favorite. Yeah, his crowd work. I mean, he has his jokes, and some of them are absolutely hysterical, but his crowd work is phenomenal, and he's known for that. So people will try. And at the end of every single gig, he does a Q&A. Any question is good, and he will answer any question. Yeah, and it's absolutely amazing.
So rather than like a meet and greet, he holds a forum.
Yeah, on the stage, he'll go, okay, that's the end of the show, guys, but we're going to do Q&A. Let's do 5 questions. Shout them out, and he'll just like riff off whatever questions. And there's some great stuff, like just YouTube, Steve Hofstetter Q&A, anything like that.
That's cool.
But because we were talking about specials, I had to choose a special.
No, it was cool. It was it was definitely funny. But I kept thinking to myself, why does Steve pick this one?
Because they share the same.
Why did Steve pick this guy? And I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, maybe
because he rants at the crowd. Like
maybe because he's English. I was like, no, but he's not English. He's
from
American.
New York.
Yeah, he's from New York. He can't be English.
Maybe
and then I was like, oh, maybe because his name is Steve. I was like, nah, because it's Steve with a V. No, it's like couldn't figure it out. And then I was like, oh, I know, because he looks exactly like him. Fucking.
You guys do look like you guys can be brothers.
Look at Steve. Look at that. Here he is.
Yeah, you guys could definitely be related,
dude. Look at that. Steve picked the guy with the same name as him that looks just like him.
I don't think he looks like me. I don't see that.
But you know what I thought? I thought that they almost talk the same. Like they hold conversations the same.
I think that's why I gravitate towards him. The way I talk over the mic at people. When I see comedians like that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's. Because I wanted to do stand up years ago, but then chickened out because it's terrifying. But like,
I would love to see you do stand up.
Can you imagine me? I would plan it all out. It'd be perfect. And after 10 seconds, it'd be over. I'd be just talking about everything else.
Yeah, man.
You look like the impossible boss level of one of those clown dolls.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at hecklers. I'm pretty good with hecklers. I could deal with that because that is some nights that feels like my entire job, especially in Australia. Just when I first went to Australia, like I never forget the first when I did the gigs in America, people would generally love my accent. They'd be like, "Oh, I love your accent. Where are you from? You from Britain?" Blah, blah. I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm from England." They'd be like, "Oh, he's from England. That's cool. That's cool." In Australia, I'm like, "Hey guys, my name's Stephen from England." And before I could even finish that phrase, someone went, "We don't give a fuck. Play a song." I was like, it's like Australians don't care. They don't care. The fact I'm from England, I'm like going, oh God, it's not only the fact that they don't care from England, they actually now dislike me because I'm from England. Oh shit. Right, well, we talked about Steve Hofstetter. Like I say, check out his other stuff. His actual dealing with hecklers and stuff is just insanely good. And
he's interesting though.
He hates racist jokes, he hates like sexist jokes, but he'll do stuff around that and he'll draw our attention to those. His point of view is you don't need that to be funny. People who do that, it's like a lazy comedian. And it is, if that's all you have. And some comedians, that's all they have.
I dig that. I can respect that.
And Steve Hofstetter can also occasionally goes to cruise ships and plays guitar and sings in the pubs.
You're funny.
He does. And
he goes underneath the moniker of Stephen Burke.
Yeah.
At Stephen Burke
he's like
Music
6'4", so that's a one thing, right? Yeah, I'm like him if he's been, I don't know, put in the dryer for too long.
Yeah, but
if you and me, Steve, if you sat on my shoulders and we got a big trench coat, we could look just like Steve Hofstetter.
We'll do it. We'll do it, man.
Shut up.
And Johnny, you can be my my black Jewish sister if you like grow your hair out, man. We can do like
with that, man.
That's Halloween. That's Halloween sorted.
I'm down with that.
We'll get some skull caps. You know, get the menorah on stage.
Good on you. Good on you,
mate.
Good on you.
That's the way.
That's the way. But I've got to say, my favorite special to watch out of all these was Johnny's.
Yeah, Michael
And
Shea.
I've seen it before. This guy do stuff before. He's brilliant. He's absolutely.
And I'm gonna be
brilliant.
honest, because like when we had to pick comedy specials, I was trying not to do like the obvious, like a Kevin Hart or like a Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love those guys. They're some of my favorite comedians. They're killing the game right now. But I wanted to do something that that just kind of like stands out, something that's a little different. So I thought about Michael Shea. Michael Shea is actually trending. That particular comedy special is actually trending. Yeah, because when he did it, it was like 4 years ago when this whole Black Lives Matter movement first started. So that's why he calls it Michael Shea Matters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's cool. You know what? I felt so prepared for my week because you said to watch that special.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of times, like if I like looked at my phone, that a clip of that exact special had like popped up.
Yeah.
I was like, hey!
Yeah.
And it was great because I had like the perfect responses to everything that I saw because I just seen it like the day before. Well done. Good time.
And it's so funny because I just randomly just said, oh, well, I'll pick Michael Shea. I hadn't even seen, the clips on Instagram yet. And then all of a sudden, like a week goes by and I just see Michael Shea trending on my phone. And I'm like, has the NSA been like listening to me? Like have they been reading our group chats? Like what's going on? Like I see Michael Shea everywhere after I mentioned him.
Are we Marty McFlying 2020?
You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on?
He's on it though.
Man.
He's absolutely on it. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm so happy that now he's starting to trend again because I mean it's sad because he made that 4 years ago and here we are still screaming Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for him as a great comedian, still getting that recognition for a really good comedy special.
Yeah.
He makes.
It's a shame that it's timeless. It's upsetting to me. It's timeless that he's talking about stuff that is literally happening today.
Right.
And this is
but also
five
stuff
years
that
ago.
happened 2,000 years ago. Like he doesn't just do that.
Oh yeah. He talks about everything. Yeah.
He gets that out of the way at the front, and really, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he talks about like the whole all lives
on
matter.
that fucking what's the kid's name, Samuel or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The guys, the two guys. There's
The two
the
kids
very
in the
very
front,
white guy, and then the black guy who's got the white name
Sam
or
the
whatever. I can't
Christian or
remember
something,
the Christian guy. My favorite was when he talks like porn. He talks about lesbians. He's like, they're not lesbians.
Christian.
They're not real lesbians in porn. I want to see a lesbian girl that looks like Lil Wayne. I was like, absolutely.
Or like, I don't like black porn.
Yeah.
I can't tell when it's finished.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
I can't take lesbian porn. You know what I mean?
Man. No, absolutely correct.
That's like a decade by decade thing almost. It's like there's the stereotypical that particular person's porn.
Yeah.
It's all Chris Rock's fault. He started it with the that black porn is different to white porn bit.
Yeah.
It is. It's very, very,
Man, fuck it. Have you noticed that there seems to be like three types of comedians?
the political one. What else?
There's the one that tells jokes, the one that tells stories, and the one that promotes ideas. Right?
It's interesting. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it. That seems to cover all of it for me.
I'm trying to think who would
more or less, right?
encompass all of that. What's George Carlin?
George Carlin would be promoting ideas.
Promoting ideas. I was just going to say, because he tells stories as well, but it's more
he
ideas. He makes you think about stuff. But yeah.
Now, who would you guys say has like all three?
That's what I'm thinking. I thought
traits?
Carlin.
Bill Burr. Bill Burr has all three.
Tells stories.
I think most comedians tell stories, but not all.
Right, not all.
Like Jimmy Carr doesn't tell stories; he's just one-liners, things like that.
So wait, so
or like
so
a
tells-
Mitch Hedberg just does one-liners. Yeah.
promotes ideas, tells stories, and tells jokes. Those are the three things.
I think
Well,
Chappelle.
they
Chappelle.
that seems to cover like the like an overall.
I mean,
sort of,
you gotta.
It's like an umbrella to throw someone under, but
you gotta say Dave. Gotta say Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, definitely.
Dave does all three.
Because he has a
Yeah,
narrative
Dave
arc. Like he'll have a
definitely
plan. Like we were saying about Steve Hofstetter before, like have a plan, the beginning, the end. Might move away from it, but he'd tie it back up in this
Right.
nice little bow. And I think Chappelle does that quite well.
Yeah.
Maybe
But he doesn't
better
have
than
to. He doesn't
anything.
have to. He doesn't rely on that. He's not tied to that.
The second time I met O.J. Simpson, like,
Oh man, that's amazing
that
when he comes out for the
stand-up
yoga.
was
The fourth time,
hilarious. Right, that was hilarious, bro.
I almost forgot the
Right, yeah, he leaves off stage. He's like,
yeah.
one more thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah. I mean, there are definitely guys that like blend all three of those things. I think those, to me at least, they seem like the three things. Like someone like Gilbert Gottfried is like he just tells the jokes.
Right. Yeah.
You know, he just
But you know what I hate? I hate when like comedians they make up stories like to I mean like it's all fine and well, to like make up a fake story to, turn it into a joke. That's great. But like as a fan or like as a listener or a viewer, like I look forward to like looking you up on Instagram and seeing your actual kids that you joke about or seeing, like you think about
it's kind of why I picked Bert.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like these are like real life stories, bro. Like these are real life people that you guys are talking about, man. So like we expect to see that. Like we it's even more funnier when we look at your life on social media and we see, oh man, he wasn't kidding. Like this is legit his life,
That's
Yeah,
there's a
and
depth there.
that's exactly what Bert does in his post credits. He's got the
yeah. He shows.
and again if you followed him on Instagram during the pandemic, he's been doing these things like on Fridays. It's like happy hour with Bert.
Mhm.
Just like a Zoom chat like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just with like 1,000 fans.
Mhm.
So you have to have the code to get in, and he goes, okay, you have to have watched his new special to figure out what the code is.
Oh,
So
that's
it's really
interesting.
clever.
Yeah,
And then he
that's cool.
sits and he just kind of sits there with a drink and he just like clicks on random people and goes, hey, what's up?
That's what's up.
And
yo.
people freak out. They're like, the machine.
Right.
You know?
Oh, that's like really dope promotion right there. That's
That's
pretty
really
and now,
clever.
and now he's about to do drive-in theaters.
cool. Ooh, yeah, that's hard. Yeah,
We were talking about
That's
that
a
before you
great
came
idea.
back. I'm
Yeah.
still not sure about that. Whether that because
Yeah,
Chappelle
did
mentions
you
it
miss
in
that
his
thing?
new stand-up. Chappelle mentions it, and he's not a fan of it.
Oh, I got.
I can understand why you're not a fan of it, but I can also totally see why you'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah, it's never been done before for comedy.
It's
So
super
yeah, I get it.
interesting.
Completely get it. Yeah, 100%.
I'd go to one.
I'd go. Oh yeah, just Chappelle's like,
Oh,
yeah, nobody
hell
wants
yeah,
to hear people
I'd go.
beeping
But
their horns
why-
and it's funny type
why-
thing.
Right, like why? Oh, okay. So that's what Dave said. Like it'll just be like too much noise.
I think so. If you watch his new stand-up, he only mentions it for a second. Because
okay.
Chappelle's stand-up is the first one since the COVID thing, with like a live audience sat down in front of him. They all get
right.
temperature checks when they walk in. They all have to wear
Wow.
masks,
Yeah.
all this stuff. Yeah,
There's
I
a-
think,
yeah,
I think it's
there's-
outside, isn't it? I could be wrong. You have to go through a field to get there. It shows what basically
not
the
sure.
version. But the version that I
seems
saw was
organised.
just him walking on stage and then it stops. Because it just come out when I saw it, and now they've made it into
Yeah.
the special. They're showing footage of people turning up for the gig and stuff like that. So I think,
Yeah, well, it's a setup.
I
gig.
haven't seen that one yet.
It's a setup. Gig. You didn't miss much. You missed maybe like 20 seconds or something.
That's what I thought. It can't be a lot because when I saw it,
Yeah.
he says hello when he walks and he says goodbye when he finishes. So I thought, well, he can't have
Yeah,
missed out.
but he
anything.
yeah, it's just a kind of a couple of establishing shots of what it looks like around it. Maybe like a backstage shot of him walking on the stage
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But nothing. You didn't really miss anything. It's just it's just a crudely shot little quick special because it's relevant right now. But
Talking about
what
relevance. Go on. You
No.
carry on that thought.
I like tangents.
Well, no, it's something that I was thinking about before. That I've always thought about comedy. I feel like comedy, especially stand-up comedy, is so important culturally and about getting messages out there, because I think a comedian, it's one of the only things I can think of that you're talking to a crowd almost like you're preaching, but you're not preaching from a book, for example. I'm using preaching as an example. You're not going off a specific text you have to lean towards. A comedian is putting like forward his or her ideas in a very, very bold, straightforward way, and can address very, very difficult things that a lot of people can't really do. People in power can't really say what they want to say sometimes because they can't. Right. I think comedy might be the only way that we can address these horrible things that happen in the world in a way that makes it more palatable, makes people think about it, starts a conversation.
Right.
And if we censor it too much, we risk losing that only public forum to talk about serious stuff.
No, like I totally agree, because I love, that's why I love certain comedians like, you know, your Dave Chappelle's and your Bill Burr's, because man, and your Louis C.K.'s, because these cats step on toes, but you gotta admit, like they speak the truth, like they say what they mean to say, like, you know, like they talk about everything, you know what I'm saying, and it really makes you think, like, man, like, wow, yeah, I never thought of it like that, you know. And it might be funny, you know what I'm saying, you might laugh at it and chuckle, but then you start really thinking like, well, dang, like he's kind of got a point too, like, you know what I'm saying, like that's yeah, you know, I might have to look into that, you know. And they're schooling you on stuff, you know. These are like very intelligent guys, you know. They're funny, you know what I'm saying, but they ain't stupid.
Oh, there's no unintelligent stand-up comedians. I can't think of anyone who could possibly do that job and not be very intelligent.
Oh, I can think of plenty.
Who? Go on.
Who do I think is an unintelligent comedian?
Yeah, I'm not saying unintelligent, but you've got to have I mean, to be able to write stuff for like an hour and be able to stand up there and that, you've got to have intelligence. I mean, some people are just funny. They can just talk and they're funny. Like
Steve, we've already talked about your texts.
And,
No, I know what you're saying. It's I don't know. I think that there's, you know, I think there's a couple of cheap avenues.
Okay, maybe I should say good comics, and maybe good comics is the word. Like to. Because
there's going to
be hacks. There's going to be hacks. That's what.
Right. Yeah. Well, a good comic has like a good comic would be, I guess, a comic that isn't just funny once. Right.
Yeah, I suppose you can do that lightning in a bottle thing. Yeah.
I would think in order to be that, you have to have some sort of substance. Like you can't just be loud, for instance, or just talk about something that has shock value at the present time, because tomorrow it won't. And then you're going to realize that what you thought of ain't funny.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I think if you're good, you have to have some sort of, some sort of like strong, like, you know, basis to your point, which I guess, requires intelligence.
Yeah,
so I guess you're right.
I agree.
I was going to say, that's the first time Grant, it took him a while, but he eventually said Steve's right. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You know, on that note, that's perfect.
You guys see what I go through?
Yeah.
You see what I go? You see the messages that I wake up to?
Yeah.
The text messages I wake up to? It's that. But this is just this is a visual. Right. Oh, see, like you're pointing at me.
No, man. On my, trust me. Wait till you see the YouTube. Man.
Okay, good. Because like on my screen, it looks like you pointed at me. I'm like, well,
nah, man.
What happened?
Look, if I wanted to give you some beer, I do that. That's for Johnny. There's some beer. That's for Johnny.
But no, man.
What if I hang on? I go this way, I guess.
No, you're next to me. You're not below me. Johnny's below me. So
how about I say you're under me? You're just
Don't say. I hate it when you say that, man. When you say Steve, you're under me. It reminds me of that one night and we got drunk and man, that's just
And there was like cameras.
There was cameras and confetti.
Yeah.
Why was it confetti? I don't know. It was like my text again.
There was a towel that was shaped like a bunny for some reason.
A sexy bunny. And there was an ostrich.
Yeah, somehow.
Why?
And American football was on TV. It's weird night.
It was good, that one. We dimmed the, we had some D'Angelo playing. You know?
Yeah, it has some strange times. So many different things going on.
All right, guys. Cheers for checking us out.
Quick, call it off.
God, done. All right, cheers for checking us out today.
Peel
We
the
are
Band-Aid,
Bones.
Steve.
We are Bones, Twigs and Wigs. I will pull this Band-Aid off now. So thank you for checking us out. Please do subscribe, rate, like, do all that stuff.
boom.
And we do appreciate you sticking with us.